I've built some pretty insane projects in my hardcore world, and throughout all that I haven't even had an XP farm. It's so bad that I don't even repair my pickaxes, I just craft more. But today that's changing. We're going to build 3 powerful XP farms to see which is the best. For the first farm we're in the end, so you can probably guess what this is. I was originally planning on just building the same farm design that I've always built, but Enderman farms have actually come really far in the last few years, so we're going to try a new one. This part is always scary. I want to score each farm on a scale of 1 to 10 on a few different parameters. Firstly, how easy it is to build, then how fast it is obviously, and lastly if it gives any other drops than XP and how useful they are. Like any other Enderman farm, we need a spawning platform. The difference with this one is that we don't hurt the Enderman with fall damage. We actually put them in boats and let entity cramming do the job. And that's why it's so brilliant. I'm not the biggest fan of Enderman farms, firstly because I don't really like the end, and also they are loud. But I got to give it up to Big Booty 17, the designer of this farm. It's great. Build simplicity, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It doesn't even require an endermite. There's many XP farms faster than an enderman farm, so it gets a 6 on the speed scale. And as for other drops goes, it only gives ender pearls, which you can use, but I think it's gonna be a 3. Next up we're going to build ENXO4's super simple guardian farm. For the farm we're going to need some glass, and for the building blocks I'm smelting up some smooth stone. We also need to collect a few stacks of soul sand. Let's also bring the trusty redstone box. Lastly we need a bunch of scaffolding. Luckily I live in a jungle, so let's step out our front door and collect. And that's everything we need, except of course an ocean monument. I've got one right here. A natural first step would probably be to kill the Elder Guardians. And now we can start building. First we gotta make a platform of scaffolding, which is pretty hard to do with guardians constantly shooting you. And then add some portals, which the guardians will go through to go to the nether, and add another platform beside the first one. Now it's time to make the killing platform, which is going to be up here. And this is one of the reasons why this farm is so brilliant. Because we built it so far away from the monument, we're only loading a small corner of it, meaning that you don't have to do any draining of the actual monument. That should be good for storage, and that's the drop chute. Now we just need to make the nether side so the guardians will go from down there to up here. The nether side is relatively simple, it's just a box that holds the guardians and then teleports them to the killing chamber in waves. Now we can hop in here and turn this on. And it links. Lastly, let's light these portals without dying preferably. Start placing in the soul sand. I could use some invisibility potions for this. I think I'm just too scared to take off my armor. And with that, the farm is activated. Here they come! The guardians! And now we can just take a couple of swipes. And that's the farm working. So let's rate this farm. It is a bit more complicated to build than the Enderman farm, but I remember when Guardian farms used to look like this. So I'm going to give this one an 8 as well. This is about how fast a normal XP farm can get, so it gets a 9. We also get some pretty decent other drops from Guardian farms. Prismarine is a nice building block, and we get unlimited fish. So I'll give it a 7 on that front. As you can see, this farm is actually limited by the speed I can grab the XP orbs. So if you want a faster XP farm, we gotta get bigger XP orbs. Now let's get away from this horrible noise. We all know that you can get XP when you cook things in a furnace. But you can also get it when you siphon it out with a hopper and break the furnace. Meaning that if you have a giant super smelter and run through tons and tons of stacks of loot, you can get a bunch of XP basically instantly. Which could be very convenient if you, for example, want to repair a tool. Just like that. So if you want to make a massive cactus farm, bamboo farm, run it into a super smelter and get an ungodly amount of green dye as your XP farm, that's also a choice. Our last farm is a simple one using the new potions of infestation. The infested potion makes it so mobs spawn silverfish when they get damaged. We try again. So in theory, if we get a mob like an allay that heals really quickly, we can spawn a load of silverfish for massive XP. The farm is absolutely tiny, so it should be pretty easy to build. I think I've got some allays somewhere around here. Amazing. Come on. Through the jungle. And in here. Now we need to breed the allays, which is done by giving it amethyst shards while there's music playing. And now we'll trick them into going into the hole. Come on, there's really good stuff in there. And block it off. Do I feel bad about making this farm? Well, let's see how much XP it gives. I don't feel bad at all. The hardest part is just getting the allays, so for build simplicity it's got to be a 9. For the speed I'm going to give it a 7, it's pretty fast for its size. And the other drops are, well, nothing, so that's a 0. But if you want just a tiny XP farm to fit in your base to repair your tools, this one is great. Now I think I've definitely filled my need for XP farms. But I do think the Guardian farm is my favorite. Tell me in the comments which XP farm you usually build. I really hope you all enjoyed this video and thank you so much for watching.